D365 Finance and Operations, Key Modules, Implementation Guide, and ROI. D365 Finance and Operations, Key Modules, Implementation Guide, and ROI. That's what we're tackling today. If you've been wondering about D365 Finance and Operations, stick around. Next up, now, what is D365 Finance and Operations? D365 Finance and Operations is Microsoft's cloud-native ERP built on Azure. It targets organizations with 300-plus users and complex operational requirements. The platform runs on the same data layer as Dynamics 365 Sales, Customer Service, and Field Service, which means finance data and customer data can share a single source of truth without custom integration work. For companies with simpler needs, Microsoft's Dynamics 365 Business Central documentation covers the SMB-focused alternative, which uses a separate code base and license model. D365 Finance and Operations runs exclusively in the Microsoft Azure cloud. There is no on-premises option for new implementations, though a hybrid path exists for regulated industries via local business data deployments. The platform uses a multi-layer architecture, a Tier 1 sandbox for development, Tier 2 for user acceptance testing, and the production environment. Each tier is a separate Azure subscription with its own cost. Next up, moving on to key modules in D365 Finance and Operations. The platform ships with a wide module library. Most organizations activate between 4 and 8 modules at go-live, adding others in later phases. Here are the modules that drive the most implementation decisions. The Financial Management module covers accounts payable, accounts receivable, general ledger, fixed assets, cash and bank management, and financial reporting. For multinational companies, intercompany accounting and consolidation capabilities are the primary draw. One underestimated capability: the global tax engine. Companies operating across the EU, UK, US, and APAC can configure tax rules per legal entity without custom code. This alone saves significant implementation hours compared to building the same logic in SAP or Oracle. Next up, now, how to implement D365 Finance and Operations successfully. Implementation is where most projects either work or fall apart. The official documentation outlines a recommended methodology, but real-world timelines differ substantially from what vendors quote during the sales process. Dynamics 365 implementation typically takes 3 to 18 months depending on modules, users, and customization complexity. A single-entity finance deployment with minimal customization can realistically go live in 4 to 5 months. A multi-entity, multi-currency deployment with supply chain, manufacturing, and power platform integrations routinely takes 12 to 18 months. For a full phase-by-phase breakdown of what each stage actually involves, our Dynamics 365 CRM implementation, a 6-phase step-by-step guide covers the methodology in detail. Now, D365 Finance and Operations versus Salesforce. The Dynamics 365 versus Salesforce question comes up in nearly every mid-market evaluation. The answer depends on where your primary pain is. Salesforce dominates the standalone CRM market for good reason. Its sales pipeline management, opportunity tracking, and AI-powered forecasting are mature and user-friendly. If your primary need is Salesforce automation with minimal ERP integration, Salesforce is a strong choice. D365 Finance wins when ERP and CRM need to share data natively. If your sales team creates quotes that flow into production orders and customer invoices without manual re-entry, D365's unified data model eliminates friction that even the best Salesforce SAP integration cannot fully resolve. Let's talk about now, Dynamics 365 customization, building around your business. Dynamics 365 customization is necessary in almost every enterprise implementation, but the degree varies widely. The platform's extensibility model uses X++ code for server-side logic and TypeScript for UI extensions, both within a managed framework that Microsoft can upgrade without breaking your configurations. The key distinction is between configuration and customization. Configuration should always be maximized first. Every line of custom code adds maintenance cost and upgrade risk to the project. Dynamics 365 for small business contexts typically use Business Central, not Finance and Operations. But some smaller companies land in D365 Finance because their specific industry requirements exceed what Business Central offers. Let's talk about next up, CRM implementation cost and D365 Finance ROI. CRM implementation cost for D365 Finance and Operations is not a single number. It is a combination of licensing fees, implementation services, infrastructure, training, and ongoing support. Here is what the actual cost breakdown looks like for a mid-market deployment. For a more granular breakdown by company size and module scope, see Dynamics 365 implementation, realistic timeline and budget for mid-size companies. 3 factors consistently push D365 implementation costs above initial estimates. Now, next up, how to choose a Dynamics 365 implementation partner. The quality of your Dynamics 365 consulting services engagement depends more on your partner than on the software itself. Microsoft's partner network includes thousands of firms, and the variance in delivery quality is significant enough to determine whether a project succeeds or requires a costly remediation. Q Services is a Microsoft certified solutions partner for Dynamics 365 with 500+ projects delivered since 2014, serving mid-market and enterprise clients in healthcare, logistics, banking, and SaaS. For a structured evaluation framework, the Dynamics 365 implementation partner 10-point checklist to evaluate and choose covers criteria that most buyers overlook until after a contract is signed. Let's talk about moving on to conclusion. D365 Finance and Operations gives mid-market and enterprise companies a unified platform for financials, supply chain, manufacturing, and HR, but the platform only delivers on that promise when the implementation is planned well from the start. Module selection, data migration quality, Dynamics 365 customization discipline, and partner experience are the 4 variables that most directly determine whether your project lands on time, on budget, and with measurable ROI. If you're in the early evaluation stage, map your requirements against the module structure before talking to vendors. Know your data migration scope before signing a contract. And verify that any Dynamics 365 implementation partner you consider has delivered comparable projects in your industry within the last 2 years. Q Services has helped healthcare, logistics, banking, and SaaS companies implement D365 Finance and Operations since 2014. If you'd like a scoping conversation or a second opinion on a proposal you've already received, reach out to our team. We publish our delivery metrics publicly because transparency is how trust is built with clients.